welcome back to Women's Biz Tribe Success Summit. Oh my goodness, we're going to shift gear now because we've just finished with Lisa Steindorf and we've been talking about bringing down our masks and calling out our inauthenticity and just going a little bit deep. And now we're going to shift gear and I am going to introduce to you Dr. Isabel Hunsinger, who is a Cuban American born doctor who lives in New Zealand. So it's a little bit confusing with the accent and where she is, but we love it. And I'm here over in Australia. So we are women of the world. And Dr. Isabel's been a real doctor for a very, very long time, since she moved over to 20 years plus. And what we're going to be talking about today is a crazy topic. We're going to call it why Alzheimer's is optional now. Oh my goodness, it's going to fry your brain what Dr. Isabel is going to share with you. And she has all the expertise. She's been in this space. She's a guru of functional medicine, which is all looking at, your whole being and how do you actually operate on a hormonal, cellular, nutritional level. Why wait till you get sick, for goodness sake? Why don't you just start early and just be healthy? Anyway, that's enough from me. Otherwise, I might actually say the incorrect information. I'm going to leave it to the real doctor. Over to you, Dr. Isabel. Welcome.
Hi, Annie. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to be with you again. You are a lovely woman, and I love that we're just helping heal the world all together.
It certainly takes a village of awesome women, and that's what we are finding at this Success Summit. And I just absolutely always adore sharing with you. And Dr. Isabel's even on my podcast next week, so stay tuned, everybody. All right, so I would love to just open up. Let's just rip open the Band-Aid on this topic. Why do you think Alzheimer's disease is preventable?
Well, before we begin on that heavy topic, I want to share a little joke because laughter is the best medicine. Why, Annie? What do you say? What do you say when an Italian chef dies?
What?
Mamma mia, he passed away. I always like breaking the ice because you know what?
That's a great start to my day. Oh, that's classy.
This is such a heavy topic, and for me to come on and saying, hey, look, listen, ladies and men too, who are listening, having Alzheimer's is an option now. And I just want to kind of start answering the questions that you're going to ask me to help understand what is going on. Is Alzheimer's preventable? Yes, it is preventable. I want everyone to know that Alzheimer's, really less than 1% is genetic. That means that the rest of the Alzheimer's is lifestyle. And those are things that we can change. Now, I know that sounds like heresy because we've always been taught that having Alzheimer's is just what happens to some people. And that's not true. We can actually prevent a lot of the Alzheimer's. And that's what this whole discussion is based on. And right now in the UK, in England, the number one killer of women is Alzheimer's. So we have a lot of work that we can do.
Sorry, you couldn't hear me just go, oh, the number one killer of women?
Yeah, that just came out a couple of months ago. Yeah. And Alzheimer's affects two-thirds of the population with Alzheimer's are women.
Wow. I don't think people know that. I didn't think it had a gender difference, to be honest.
It does, and it's a bias towards women. So there's a lot of work that we can do, and that's why I'm so excited to talk to you about that, because I want to give people hope that, oh my gosh, there's so much we can do. And
and you said there's only 1%, so 1% is genetic. Like that's
yes, less than 1%.
Less than 1%. So as a doctor, you're just like going, oh my God, this is the best good news story ever because we've got 99% to work with.
Exactly, exactly. And look, I didn't know about this until I met my teacher, my mentor, my colleague, Dr. Dale Bredesen, who's a medical doctor just like me, who wrote the book, The End of Alzheimer's. Have you read that book?
I have not read that book.
Oh, Annie, please. And ladies, please read that book. It will give you hope that having Alzheimer's is preventable.
So when does the prevention begin then? What can we start preventing it today?
Yes, the prevention starts, well, for the people with the genes that are that less than 1%, the prevention starts in their 20s. Okay. However, for you and I, if we don't have that genetic risk factor, then the prevention starts in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. And there's so much that we can do to help with the prevention. And the world doesn't know about this. You know, as a medical doctor, I was trained, look, once you get Alzheimer's, you just get this pill and start getting your right and get your papers in order. You're a nurse, you're a trained nurse, you know that it's a death sentence, right?
Pretty much. When I did nursing a long time ago, but they used to say, okay, well, it's about a 10-year cycle downward spiral. Like, that's it. You get it. You go, well, you got 10 years maximum. And which is just a terrible one, prognosis, but also now knowing your future is just declining and everyone else watching that. Oh my gosh, wouldn't it be great if we can actually go, let's just stop that happening. And 40s, 50s, 60s, well, I tell you what, that's a lot of people who are listening into this summit. That's who it gets attracted to Women's Biz Tribe. So tell us more then. What areas need to be addressed?
Oh, I love that question because I'm so into addressing these areas because we can all do it and it's so easy if we just know what to do. So what you need to do is understand that there's a lot of contributors to Alzheimer's, and we've always been taught that you got to get rid of this protein called amyloid. And amyloid, yes, is big. You've heard of the word amyloid, right, Annie? With Alzheimer's. And so the research shows, yep, there's a lot of amyloid, which is a protein in the brain. And all of the monotherapy, the one drug therapy, has always been targeted to getting rid of that amyloid. But we need to ask a different question. Why is the body creating amyloid? Amyloid is actually protective of the brain because the brain is being attacked. The brain is deficient in a lot of the contributing factors that I'm going to talk about. So I want to kind of like help change it's a paradigm shift. It's not the amyloid that's the problem. Amyloid is actually saving us. What we need to understand is why is the brain creating amyloid? And the contributing factors that Dr. Dale Bredesen has taught is, number one, is diet. Our diet is terrible. Oh my gosh. I know everybody thinks, oh, but I eat well. And I'm like, yeah, right. I don't think so. Let's take a deep dive. So diet is number one. We're eating way too many carbohydrates. We're eating way too much processed food, too much food in a box. We're not eating clean food. And that's why I love working with my husband, who's also a brain health expert here at Doctor on a Mission. And he's a trained chef, so he teaches people how to eat right. And it's all about getting your macronutrients right. And the macronutrients are your good carbs, your good protein, and your good fats. And then it's also important getting your micronutrients right. And your micronutrients are your vitamins and your minerals. And then a next layer deep in diet is getting your phytonutrients correct. And phyto, just that word, means plant, and then nutrients. So getting your plant nutrients right. Like, making sure you're having good organic coffee. Coffee is a phytonutrient. So diet is the number one. The next contributing factor is hormones. I have to tell you that it actually breaks my heart to see so many women in their 40s and 50s and 60s going to the doctor. And this happened to me. I did this for my patients too before I knew. They go to the doctor and they say, I'm anxious. I'm not sleeping good. And so the doctor places them on antidepressants. I'm not against antidepressants. I was on them at a certain period of my life, but antidepressants are not the answer. We need to start looking at hormones, and a lot of women's hormones are not addressed when they go to the doctor for their anxiety and depression. And I mean, even estrogen, low levels of estrogen can cause a woman to have anxiety. Low levels of progesterone can cause a woman to have anxiety and not sleep well. Yet we're not testing that. And mainstream medicine, which is what I was trained in medical school, was, you just put them on an antidepressant. And look, antidepressants, the scary thing is that people don't go to a psychiatrist to get placed on antidepressants. They go to a general practitioner, they go to a nurse practitioner, they go to paramedics now. Everybody is prescribing antidepressants. And the problem with antidepressants is they're associated with dementia. Now, that's a whole other discussion. So we'll talk about that on another time. And another contributing factor is sleep. I only know the statistics for people in America. 70 million people in America are on sleeping tablets. Sleep is medicine. If you don't get good 7 to 9 hours of restorative sleep, you will go nuts. I know, I've had that experience, and it's a terrible thing. So we really need to get to the root cause of why you're not sleeping. And there's so many things that you can do to improve your sleep so you're not reliant on the sleeping medication. The next thing is toxins. Well, what do I mean by toxins? Well, you need to look at toxins in the form of metals like mercury, lead, arsenic. There's arsenic in chicken, so we have to be careful with that. The next thing is environmental toxins like pesticides, glyphosate, pollution, plastic. I mean, we all know that plastic is not good, but we're all eating our food in plastic, and plastic just leaches all these chemicals into our system and we're ingesting it. I saw this fantastic t-shirt that said, don't count calories, count chemicals. I was like, that's good. We should really be counting the chemicals, the toxins that are permeating into our system. And then the last toxin that's new to me and to a lot of doctors around the world are biotoxins. And biotoxins are things like mold and HSV, like herpes. We now have done dissections of the brain of people with Alzheimer's, and a lot of them have herpes simplex 1, like the cold sore. And we can suppress that with an easy medication. Then the next contributing factor is our oxygenation. Are we getting good oxygenation at nighttime? Because if we're not getting good oxygen into our brain at nighttime, then that will cause cognitive decline. And you don't have to be a snorer to have poor oxygenation to your brain. And your doctor can do a sleep study on you and get that organized so that you can see whether you've got any problems with nighttime oxygenation. And then the last is gut health. What's your gut like? I mean, your gut is so important. It really is your second brain. And we in medicine are not taught about gut health. So it's really precision medicine. And we just need to look at what are the contributing factors in your health that need to be modified.
Oh my goodness, there are so many modifications just popping into my brain. I mean, really, when I know as a doctor, you're just going, okay, so you're going to worry about your diet, your hormones, your sleep, your toxins, your gut health, your oxygenation. And it's like, yes, 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 yes. But like, what does that actually mean? Like, once you start unpacking it and go, yeah, that's right. Like, just my diet. What should I actually start, changing? And we do get into convenience food, and we do have little, moments, and probably consumes too much alcohol. And am I allowed to say it? I'm allowed to say it. I say it for the women of the world, and the men of the world. We all do the naughty things. We go and, grab something that's going to give us quick energy instead of long-lasting energy. They have so many things wrapped up in plastics and things that we just don't even think about. And when you're broaching this topic today, Isabel, and you're like 99% of things are going to help you, like that list alone, just even addressing an issue, like even like say sleep. My hubby, bless his soul, he's probably still having a snoozy, started like really badly snoring. And I'm like going, oh my gosh, like that's got to be bad for your brain, right? So anyway, now he's got this very attractive mouth guard, but doesn't snore. It's absolutely wonderful. But you've got to be worrying, like when you actually address an issue, you just got to unpack it. Yeah, that's right. The type of sleep, whether you're breathing properly, whether you're getting enough sleep. So many of us are sleep deprived. Like when I start thinking about all these areas. So think about it, those watching in. Think about all of those areas that Dr. Isabel's been saying, even write to yourself, write a little list and go, okay, let's write the headings. And you can, I was just writing, I probably didn't have them exactly right, but you started with diet. What's your diet like? Hormones. We're going to come back to that, Dr. Isabel, because we can't do too much about our hormones without asking a doctor to tell us more. We can definitely start thinking about sleep. Write down. Think about yourself. What for the last few days? How much sleep did you actually have? And what are you doing? I'm sure you'll be a queen on this, but what have you got in your environment that's actually stopping you from sleeping? Right? Hello, technology. Actually looking at our body and listening to our body. Incredible about information here. I'd love you. So in the chat, pop some things in. Dr. Isabel is available after here to actually come back and answer some of those questions. So keep them coming in. I know we're going to have lots of talks about, I was trying to write phytonutrients in the chat, but I got a little bit stressed about my spelling of that. But I did talk about macro and micro, but worry about those phytonutrients, plant-based foods as well. I think there's a principle there, Isabel, of, is what we're consuming artificial? If it comes in a packet, if it's been fried, if it's, been processed, like let's just go back to basics and actually think, probably it's been distorted in its natural sense and it's had its nutrition robbed of it, right?
Yes.
For sure. Let's talk a little bit more because we've got a little bit of time. How about we just jump straight onto either toxins or hormones? They're two areas that people might be going, okay, I know I should sleep better and I know I should have a better diet, and I can unpack that later. But what about hormones? What's happening, particularly because we've got primarily a female audience? What should they know about their hormones?
Okay, well, hormones are huge. Like, our brains run on hormones, and this is really pretty new in medicine, and we need to be getting more information. But if you're suffering with anxiety and or depression, or if you've got brain fog, go and get yourself checked with your GP. Or you can go to ifm.org and find a practitioner that's in functional medicine doctor that understands hormones. And I have to be honest with you, even my colleagues as endocrinologists don't understand the depth of hormones for women. But our estrogen is important, our progesterone, our thyroid. There's actually 7 thyroid labs that need to go, not just a TSH. And oftentimes you just get a TSH checked, and if it's less than 5, then your doctor will say, you're okay. Well, I just have to let you know that's old school thinking. The new school's thinking, the most updated research shows that a TSH, an optimal TSH, is around 2. And then you've got all the other thyroid labs that need to be checked, because your thyroid function controls 400 things in your body, 400 actions. So you want to make sure they're in tip-top form. Then you've got your cortisol, you've got your pregnenolone, and pregnenolone is like the mother of all hormones. She makes all the hormones. So you want to make sure that mama bear has breast milk to make sure she's got breast milk for all the hormones. That's the best way I can think of it.
I love the name of it. Pregnenolone. Oh, I love it. 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 So I've heard, is this in what you call a pre-code report? What is a pre-code report?
Great. So pre-code is something that Dr. Dale Bredesen has prepared from his research, and PRE stands for preventing cognitive decline. And it's a personalized program that you can get from Chef Michael and myself for less than $1,900 US, and you get a personalized program equipped to help you avoid having Alzheimer's. You get lab tests, you get a 50-page report, you get time with Chef Michael and I to help like course correct you in your 40s, 50s, and 60s so that you can prevent ending up with Alzheimer's. And who's it for? It's for anybody that's got a family member with dementia, or if you're experiencing brain fog. You don't have to have a family with dementia. You can experience, like Alzheimer's is less than 1% genetic. So it's all lifestyle.
Yeah, that it would be so great because, even unpacking all of those, key areas, it's kind of like, where I was going before. So I'm glad I asked you about that pre-code report because, it's just so huge. It's like I've got so much to work with, but I've got kind of like too much because I don't know. I'm set in my ways. I just have my routine for things. We've all got behavioral traits and habits that we've, built over many, many years. And it's not that easy. And we also want to know what battle we want to pick, right? And in what order. So the concept that you can actually get a report done, which is really, really detailed, and even know things that I wouldn't know. And I'm quite happy to put my hand up of going, well, is it my local doctor does that? Is it a women's health doctor who does that? Do I have to ask, if you're mentioning they usually only check one thyroid hormone and they actually need to be checking, sorry, I should have listened more, 7. But like for the average person, did I do well, Dr. Isabel?
Yeah, girl.
Oh, gold star. I get a gold star.
You get a sticker.
Awesome. But these are the sorts of things that you go, it's overwhelming when you're not the doctor, when we don't sort of go do like you do. And thank God your brain works in that way. For us, it's like, I don't want to get Alzheimer's. I'm really happy to actually start doing some things, but like where to start? What could I approach? The concept of having something actually is so affordable to be able to go, we'll give you an overhaul. We'll then look at the key areas that come up in your report and then be able to then help you. Okay, well, let's approach this, and this, because I'm all into not being overwhelmed. I like manageable bits. I like little stepping stones. Let's just work on what's achievable and start chipping away. And I think this is just such a great way to do it, because I must admit too, the modern consumer, there's like not enough right information. Like you're saying things now, and most people listening in will be going, whoa, this lady's frying my brain. Is she a real doctor? Better check her. Yes, she is a real doctor.
I am a real doctor.
A real doctor. She's got a real practice. She's got a real medical license. She's like up and current in all the teaching. So this is really good stuff. But so we don't know the right information, and other times we've got too much information about like everything, but some of it's right, some of it's wrong. So where do we go from here? What should we all be doing? What's your advice for those listening in today?
Thank you, Annie. I just want to say that I've got a coach because I've got blind spots and I need a coach to help course correct me. And so consider us your coach, to help you move forward and up. So you can reach us at doctoronamission.com. That's doctoronamission.com. And you'll see there's a pre-code. You can send us a message at info@doctoronamission.com, and we'll begin a chat. We can help you along.
Yeah.
Because I want to see us women be healthy and have quality of life until our last breath. You see, we can be thinking clearly until our last breath, Annie, and be productive.
That's what I want. I don't want to be sitting there, because let's face it, I've got old genes. My nanas live to 102 and 99. So unless Annie Gibbins gets hit by a bus, hello, I'm hanging around quite some time, guys. So I want to make sure that my brain is firing. I don't want to have my last 10 years sitting there going, oh my goodness, I'm still awake. I'm just going to have to, hang here and just kind of think random thoughts. This is serious business. So we do have a little bit of a joke, but hello, we want to be fully tuned. This is also a success summit. All of us are living our lives. We want to be the best versions of ourselves. We want to be smashing it in the business world. We want to be having fantastic relationships. We want to be achieving our personal goals. Some of us want to be leaving a legacy for the things that we're really passionate about. This is actually is what we're talking about today, is our whole life, right? This is the way we go about everything, from how do you get up? What do you eat? How do you exercise? What blood check do you have? How often should you even do them? What should be you checking? This is all just basic stuff. But you know what? I'm quite happy to say I reckon I'm the average person. I don't know. I wait till some doctor gives me a recall and go, oh, we haven't seen you for a while. Should you pop back and get something? And I'm like, I don't know. Is that normal? We're not kind of managed, but you're actually going, well, don't wait to be managed. Get self-managed. Be proactive about saying, you know what? Even if I got a bit of a health overhaul, and then they went, you know what? Good news. Good news. You're doing a whole lot of great things, but we can all work on something. I love that. I love that, because I'm all about doing what you can do to prevent, and don't wait till you've actually got a problem. Once you've got a problem, some of it's irreversible, and often it's just a massive effort, time consuming, emotional, financially consuming, everything to try and fix things, right? Because then you have to then get stressed out and attacking something really, really deep. And we don't want that. We don't want that. Oh my goodness. Thank you for lifting the lid on such an incredible topic at our summit today. We're nearly out of time. Everyone, Doctor on a Mission. Dr. Isabel is on a serious mission with her lovely husband, Chef Michael. They're all about health and wellness, with all the right quals behind them. And seriously, she's looking for, what did you tell me during the week? You're wanting to touch 1 billion people in your life.
Positively impact and inspire greater than 1 billion people.
Ah, there you go.
Why not?
Why not? I love a woman with a bold goal. That's one of those BHAG, big, scary, bold, audacious goals, or whatever BHAG stands for. Hairy. It's got a hairy in there. I absolutely love it, because we should actually be going, you know what, this is our thing. If you're actually worried about it as a medical doctor, all of us have got things that we are passionate about. We want to be, this is our thing, our issue. We should be really bold about who we want to hear our message, who we want to receive that message, who we want to respond. And so I'll finish there. If this is something that you went, you know what, I've even got it in my family, I really need to take this topic very, very seriously. Or even if you're at a stage of going, you know what, I do have a bit of that brain fog. I'm not at my best self. I'm going through perimenopause and my hormones are just out the window. I haven't been to the doctor for quite some time, or I went and I don't actually know if they, after hearing Dr. Isabel, if they checked everything. Then, even just reach out to Doctor on a Mission and just ask for a little phone chat and just assess your situation, and we will go from there. Thank you so much for being on our summit. I'm just always delighted to hear your wisdom. And everyone, you can also find Dr. Isabel in Women's Biz Tribe. You can find via there as well. Yeah, so great. And those tuning into Memoirs of Successful Women, my podcast, Dr. Isabel is on next Friday. Hello. And she's going to go and give a whole hour's worth on detail about all of those areas. So do not miss that episode. Fantastic. Thanks, Dr. Isabel. Everybody else, hang in there. Go and have a quick little cup of tea. I will be back with our next speaker very, very soon.
Thank you.